What up, guys? Toxic Fernie here, back with another podcast video, and here with my special guest, Juan, the supplement god, Cortez. Say what's up to the audience, bro.
What's up? What's cracking?
What's crack-a-lackin'? So for those of you that don't know, aquí el compa Juan has already been on the podcast. He's on episode 2, I think. Yeah, episode 2. So if you haven't checked out episode 2, go check it out. We talk about how we met, how we separated, how we got back together. Like a relationship, bro. Like a toxic-ass relationship.
Hey, we've been homies since day one, eh? I swear to God, if it wasn't for the time difference, I'd say they snipped us from the same umbilical cord.
Me and him were not that far apart, like I'm like 10 days older than him.
Pretty much, yeah.
And same hospital too.
Same hospital and everything. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, so me and aquí el compa Juan, we were meant to be best friends.
Yeah. We met each other like it was like a prison scene. Exactly. I saw you on the other side of the fence and I was like, hey, you want to be my homie?
I can say that you were like my first friend, that I made, Yeah. Pero enough of that, bro. It's hot, as you guys can see. We're outside, we're in my backyard, pero hey, it's still hot, so that's why it's a nice beautiful day, out here in Medford, Oregon. It's weird that we get days like this. I mean, not really, it's almost summertime. Right now it's probably like a good, I want to say like maybe 75 80 around there,
somewhere around there. Yeah.
But bro, once summer hits like past June, bro, it's like freaking hell, bro. It's like freaking 105 110. Like, damn.
Your huevos start sweating.
Exactly, like your butt crack starts sweating, you're sweating all the time, Like if you don't have AC in your car or in your house, bro, like how do you live like a gusto,
That's where road rage comes from.
A lot of people, like se enojan for like shit like that, like fuck. I mean, I used to get pissed like that too, And luego aparte, you can't even enjoy yourself, like doing whatever you're doing at the house, Y vale madres todo, So yeah, make sure you guys get an AC for this summer because it is going to be super, super hot. I know in other places it gets hotter, like Arizona, bro. Like, I don't know if you've seen like videos, pero bro, Arizona, like I've seen videos donde los carros,
the treads start sticking to the road.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That.
You ever seen the ladies walking up and down the street and the chanclas start sticking to the ground?
Oh, yeah, dude. And then they fucking burn their feet. Damn. That sucks. Anyways, like I said, yeah, make sure you guys have AC for the summer because it does tend to get a little hot.
Make sure you crack a cold one for the homies.
Yeah, let's crack them open right now, bro. Oh, yeah. All right. Cheers, bro.
Salud.
This actually feels really good, especially because we're outside, dude, and it's such a beautiful day. Yesterday it fucking rained. Like, can you believe that shit? It was all cloudy and it rained. Y ahora ya así. But it's okay. That's how bipolar Oregon is, If you're not from Oregon, it's really bipolar. You'll get days like this, but then the next day you'll get rain. The other day you'll get snow. Like, it's crazy.
Sometimes it's pouring nalgas, wangas. You never know.
Pinches nalgas, wangas por todos lados, güey.
Everywhere. Everywhere. So you guys might be wondering, what's behind us? So this is going to be the topic of basically the podcast.
Yes, let's get into the topic of the podcast. So as you guys can see, right behind us, we have a beautiful Daytona green, my favorite color. Anyways, it's not mine. I'm too poor to afford one of those right now, but that's here el compa Juan's car, Daytona. What year is it, bro?
It's a 2017 Daytona RT.
Beautiful.
Bose speaker in the back. Bose. No, wait. Actually, excuse me. Beats speaker. It's not Bose. Still thinking about Camaros because
this guy.
I for those of you guys that don't know, I'm about to be a father, so I had to switch up the Camaro.
Round of applause for compa Juan. He's about to be a dad.
So
that's crazy, bro. Like, now that I sorry to interrupt you, bro, but like, dude, it's crazy porque I have like a lot of homies already that are, boom, like they have a kid already, And you're up next, bro.
Nah, you're fine, Fernie. You're still young. I mean,
we're both young, bro.
Yeah, we're both young. I had mine. But my old lady got knocked up, with me at 25. So
okay.
That being said, I mean, I'm not too young, I'm not too old. I think I'm at a
bro,
good age.
You're in the right like spot to have a kid for sure. Yeah, ves que like our parents were like back in the old days, freaking girls would get pregnant at like 15, 14, and then from there they would have like multiple kids.
Yeah, but back then it was normal. Now
Yeah,
you
it
look
was
at
normal.
it, and then they start dropping the fucking Drake diss track.
Times were really different back then, especially like como in como se llama, like especially like in like where our families are from in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like there it was like, dude, like you could be 14, a girl, and get pregnant by a 20-year-old.
Yup.
And that's normal.
It was normal, eh? Sabes que you trade in a few sheeps, boom, new wife.
And then they end up having like, 10 plus kids.
Yup. And then there's a whole generation right there.
And then them, it's the same situation, Well, actually, not really, because with the kids, usually they'll find somebody that's like kind of like in the same age gap. Well, yeah, kind of like como kind of in the same age gap. Ponle que like 5 years, of a gap, and they'll probably have like up to like at least half of the kids that their parents had. So they'll have like maybe like a good ponle que 4, 5, 6, 8 max probably. I don't know.
12, who knows?
Bro, it's crazy. Anyways.
Tío.
Yeah. As you guys can see, there's a lot of wind. It's pretty fresh. You can probably hear it on the mics. But anyways.
Crisp.
Crisp. I see. A gusto. I kind of need a 10 because I'm kind of white right now. So.
I forgot my shades. Fernand gave me shades.
I let this fool borrow shades.
I would have been the whole podcast looking all chinito just.
Anyways, let's get back to the topic, bro. Let's talk about more your freaking, congrats on the new whip. A round of applause for Juan. Got a new whip. So yeah, keep telling us more on why you decided to get Daytona.
So we're gonna start off the story, at least in regards to the Daytona.
Yeah.
When I was making my selections, I was either thinking of between Cadillac, or it was gonna be a Charger or a Chrysler 300 potentially.
Nice.
V8, the Chrysler 300. Yeah, I had to go V8. I had to go Hemi because I already had the V6 for the longest time. And no disrespect to like my V6 brothers and sisters out there.
Yeah.
They say if you're rocking a muscle car that's a V6, hey, that's you. That's what's up. Whatever got you in there in the first place, hey, you keep rocking it, bro.
Yeah. Respect.
Hey, I know everybody's gonna give you shit because you got a V6. It don't matter, bro. At the end of the day, no one that actually like knows about cars, they all think they're the same. No one really cares.
For real, dude. Especially like now, like cars nowadays, it can be a V6, but it fucking looks like a V8. The only way you can tell it's a V6 or a V8 is by looking at como like la marca, not la marca, pero like, for example, like a Camaro, like V6s and V8s nowadays, like I'm pretty sure you can tell them apart, pero tú te vas a dar cuenta if it says RS or SS. Así de fácil. Yeah.
Like for example, like a Challenger, unless it has a Hemi badge on it on the side, you're not gonna be able to tell.
Oh,
if you look at the exhaust, you're not gonna be able to tell. Like if you have to really look at the exhaust and be like, oh, that exhaust, that's a fucking whatever, an intro bass or just a base model exhaust. Yeah. But you have to be a car guy in the car community to know what you're looking at. I'm talking about the 90% of people, around the world that aren't super into vehicles. There's a big car community base, but there's not a lot of people that are just like super into old school, new school American muscle where they can be like, oh, that's such and such. If you can, that's what's up. You're an exception. You're in the car community.
Yep.
But a majority of people that don't really know about what they're looking at, they don't even know. Like I was going into the grocery store, like not even, I think 3 days ago. I was going in to go get some stuff for my old lady. We're getting some carne asada cooking up, right? And I had the grocery guy stop me at the at the front entrance, and I'm talking to the guy, and he looks at me. He's like, "Oh, that's a really nice Hellcat." Hellcat. I was like, "Yeah, isn't that a Hellcat?" I was like, "No, man, it's not a Hellcat." He's like, "Well, what is it?" I was like, well, first thing you're going to notice on the side, it says Daytona. And the second thing is, it's, you got your variant. So there's a 5.7, there's a 6.4, and then you got the Hellcat.
Yeah.
He's like, so it's not a Hellcat? I was like, nah, man. He's like, what's a 5.7? That's your, like, intro, generic,
like
heavy,
regular RT.
Regular, RT, And then from the RT, you got your SRT, which is the 6.4, at least in, the current age of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And then you got above that is the Hellcat with the 6.2 with the supercharger on it. That being said, I mean, they're all cool vehicles and stuff, but for the average Joe like him, he couldn't tell the difference between that being just an RT Daytona and that being a Hellcat. Just because the color and the banana clips are on it makes him think that it was a Demon or something, or a Hellcat.
Yeah,
whatever.
dude. Yeah, now I noticed that like a lot of the car variants, they look like hella similar. Like whether if it's an RT Daytona, the 6.4 Hellcat, like como te digo, bro, like tú te vas a dar cuenta like if it has like that little specifics on it, like por ejemplo, like with the Charger and the Challengers, yeah, they all look similar, pero tú te vas a dar cuenta if it has either the Hemi or the fucking the B for the Scat Pack or the Cat for the Hellcat, well,
yep.
Yeah, so así uno, and then bro, like también like the way the car sounds and it looks, porque I noticed that like Hellcats, they have like their specific wheels,
Yeah, they got that supercharger whine too.
Yeah, and they have like the Brembo brakes, those big ass ones.
Yeah, big red Brembos.
Como tú dijiste, if you're a car guy, you'll for sure like así te vas a dar cuenta. But if you're like a normal human being and you fucking see a car and you think it's a Hellcat but it's a V6, and you hear that, bro? The planes.
It looks like a fighter pilot.
I don't know, bro, but we've been getting a lot of these lately. I just hope they don't drop a missile on us.
There's another one. Damn, they're back to back.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably just going off for a joyride, to be honest.
They're practicing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Anyways, dude, but otra cosa que he notado like about car people is that they'll like change the look of their cars to make it look like a car that's not like it,
Oh,
Por ejemplo,
you mean up badging?
Yeah. Like for example, like one time, dude, I saw on TikTok they were, I guess, checking out a Hellcat, and it had the fucking SRT, it had the cat on the side, y todo. It ended up being a V6.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. That's no. Like you'll for sure like get bullied or your ass kicked. One of the two.
One of the two. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making your car look nice. Don't get me wrong. Customize it as much as you want.
Oh yeah.
But there's no purpose on just trying to make something what it's not. It's just in case of the car meets or people just looking at your hood. I mean, all it takes is someone asking, hey, pop that hood. You refuse to pop open that hood, they're gonna know. Like for example, my manager, for the longest time, he told us he had a V8 Chrysler Pacifica. And
damn,
one day he's like, man, I got all this power, man, I got this mini wagon, this thing's gonna haul ass, man, I think I could beat your Camaro in a race. I got so irritated. I was like, you know what, pop the hood, let me see if it is a V8.
Yeah.
Just because it has a RT logo don't mean nothing. Let me see the hood.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I checked on it last week. It's a V6. I was like, no mama's way.
And that fool knew it too.
He knew it. He's just talking big game.
Yeah. If you're a car guy and you for sure have the horsepower on it, or like it's a fast car, like then you can talk shit, But if it's just like a regular V6 that looks like a fucking V8, I would keep my mouth shut.
The reason I picked out this like specific one is the 5.7. For a lot of people, they think it's a dud motor, and that's what they said a long time ago about the LSs.
Yeah.
They always thought, man, LS, man, ain't nothing. But the LS, all you got to do is push rods, new cam, headers, and you're making big power. You could always throw a supercharger on it, and it'll handle it.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with the Hemis. They're just built to just be able to take abuse. Now the 6.4s, like everybody's gonna be like, oh, you got the 5.7, why don't you get the 6.4? The 6.4 is already kind of maxed out as it is. It's making 480 horsepower. It's a great motor, but as soon as you start messing with it, it's not gonna take its mods as well as a 5.7, unfortunately. And you guys are gonna be like, oh man, you guys don't know nothing about the 6.4. Well, maybe I don't, but as far as what I've understand from people that talk about this day in day out on other podcasts, from what I've been informed, it doesn't. And that's why I went with the 5.7. It has tunability. It's still a reliable motor, and it's gonna cost me a little less in interest compared to a 6.4.
Eso sí, yeah, you're right about that. Porque yo también antes tenía un amigo who had a scat pack. He had a scat pack, Challenger. He told me the exact same thing. He said that he can only do like the little mods on it, you know, like ya no le podía hacer tanto to the engine because like it was already like at its full capacity, pues. Pero he said that he could only do like little things como like cold air intake and exhaust, you know. But dude, why would you want an exhaust if it's already fucking loud, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be a cop magnet and a half. I mean, unless you get like one of those aftermarket ones where you can switch the exhaust off and on.
Yeah.
Where you can make it, oh man, it sounds, you know, it won't wake up my neighbors to, oh man, and you could hear me from a mile away, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, or unless you get headers on it too.
Yo,
dude, headers actually make a freaking, you know, huge difference. They
lets
make
the car breathe.
Yeah, y aparte it makes como like popcorn sound, like.
Oh yeah, the chop.
Yeah, the chop. Damn, that's crazy.
When I was looking for a car, man, I was trying to look for a CTSV because I was still trying to stay more or less still in the family of like Chevy, because you know, Chevy right there, Cadillac's right there, you know, it's the cousin, it's the next door neighbor. Dodge was still in the talking points for me, for the reason that I've known people that have had Dodges for a long time. For example, you had a Dodge prior. Yeah. Let's talk about your SRT8, bro. Not many people know about your SRT8.
Yeah, well, for those of you that don't know, yes, I used to have an SRT8 back in the day. For those of you who have seen episode, I think it was episode 7, con el compa Eliezer, I talked about how, you know, I got into that, you know, huge-ass accident. So, yeah, if you guys want to check out that episode, I talk about how I got into that accident in that episode. But aparte, like, the accident, I got that car probably when I was 19, and dude, I actually got it porque fui a trabajar a Newport Beach in Oregon. Went to go work over there because, dude, like at that time, it was 2019, and at that time, bro, like I was not having it here in Medford, Oregon. Like, dude, me estaba yendo like de lo peor, bro. No de lo peor, pero sí me estaba yendo like, no me estaba yendo bien, pues, you know. Handle on keeping a job. I was in a relationship at that time, in a very toxic ass relationship, and you know, things like were up and down all the time, mostly fucking down. I couldn't help my parents, you know, like financially, and so I'm like, you know what, like maybe I need to disappear for a while, you know. And so that's exactly what I did, porque at that time I had a cousin who was visiting from Mexico, and él me dijo que se iba a ir a trabajar a Newport. And ya solo trabajan 6 meses. You know, after the 6 months, they get laid off for 6 months. You know?
Oh, neta.
The way he told me, bro, is that you make bank, bro. The money, like, it was good, you know? You work 12 hours Monday through Sunday.
Damn.
Yeah, so you don't have enough time to spend that money. So you're just stacking checks, you know? Así porque, bro, you work 12 hours, you sleep 8. What the fuck are you going to do in those 4 hours, you know? When I went to go work with my cousin, because his parents worked there, so my aunt and uncle también trabajaban ahí. Pretty much like nos consiguieron like a motel. And so I was sharing a room with my cousin. Me and my cousin, we were working swing shift. So swing shift / graveyard. 6 in the afternoon to 6 in the morning the next day. We had to sleep during the day. You know, we had to sleep during the day.
What was the job?
It was working like at a Surimi tech company, pretty much where like they like, it's because it's on the coast, so haz de cuenta que there's boats that will go see fucking ocean, whatever you want to call it. They'll get fish and then they'll drop it off, and then the factory process the fish. Dude, it's a whole ass process, and like you're just like on the way it's processed, it's kind of satisfying. Entonces, you know,
so you were working the port. That's what you were doing.
Yeah. So I was doing that. And como te digo, bro, like at first the job was kind of difficult because it did take me like at least a good 2 weeks to get it down. I honestly wanted to quit like my first week, but I was like, nah, like. And dude, the only reason why I left is so I can make money, come back, and like provide for everyone, you know, provide for my parents, provide for the girl I was in a relationship at that time. And so yeah, that was like my mindset, you know, like todo este dinero, like no, like obviously like no me lo iba a gastar todo, but I was gonna like, you know, like no sé, por ejemplo, like my parents take a trip to Mexico with the girlfriend that I was with at the time, like I don't know, like un, you know, little getaway trip, you know, like invest our money in something that's gonna help us, you know, or whatever, you know, like that was my mindset, you know. Pero pues ya con el tiempo, pues work, it sucked, pero it was boring too, porque you were basically doing like the same thing over and over again. But the cool thing is that you had like two other partners who you switch off with. So ponle que, so my job was to pretty much put the fish on the conveyor belt, and you know they had like a table like a fish, y luego aparte you had like a pedal that had like another conveyor belt on the top on the style fish, and it drops the fish on the table and you just put it on the conveyor belt. But the conveyor belt was going like pretty fast, you know. It was like do, you know. So you had to be like, oh shit. You had to be like woo. Yeah. Anyways, so the two guys on the side, like they would just watch you for 15 minutes, and if you would because you had to put the fish in the correct way, and if you fucked up, then they fixed it for you. And then the other guy just the guy next to him just would double check that everything was going good, you know. But we would switch every 15 minutes, you know. So you only worked for 15 minutes and got like a 30-minute break. So it wasn't bad, you know. The only thing that sucked was when you had to clean the machines, porque it had like a whole bunch of like leftover fish and it smelled hella bad. So that's the only thing that sucked. But bro, that was only like a day of work, like one day, you know. Yeah, the rest of the day, pues it was normal, así like process work. Sadly for my cousin, he ended up leaving. So because I was underage, they couldn't rent me the motel. My uncles, ellos me consiguieron a place to stay at with one of the people that worked there. I guess they had like a little garage that was kind of like a studio, and they were only charging me like $250.
Not bad.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. And so a month too. So like, you know, why not? You know, and it was just, dude, I had to share with two other viejas, way.
Ooh.
No, bro, like two other viejas, bro. Una señora ya like in her 60s probably, and otra muchacha, like she was like probably like 30.
She gave you that gumption, huh?
Bro, honestly, like como sí, but then like no, porque,
pero sí, pero no.
Pero
sí.
Pero porque one, I was still in a relationship. Two, like ella dijo que también estaba casada, pero her husband was like somewhere in Mexico. And you know, like I'll be honest, no estaba bonita. She was really skinny too.
You're looking at her, you're like,
no, bro, like era buena onda, pero así como like to get at her, no, like no. Anyway, so I'm like, and they had like their own room, you know, like haz de cuenta que the studio had the room, and then it had like another room, and so they stayed in that room, but I got like most of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then we had to share a bathroom, which was, you know. Anyways, that
Pescado.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, like fish, like yeah, like fucking tuna everywhere, bro. Entonces, it was good for the owners, porque pues obviously he was charging them too. So you know, $250, that's $500. That's $750, you know, extra for them, which, you know, it's okay, you know. At least they were nice enough to like only charge me $250 a month. Porque nowadays, bro, and back in the days, bro, like rent was like $1,000 or over $1,000 nowadays, you know. So it was good, you know. Anyways, going back to the story, it's a long ass story. Sorry if I'm boring you guys, but trust me, you're gonna want to listen to this because it's kind of sad, but it's the reason why I got my charger.
Wait. When you were on the lot, what were you looking for?
Well, it's because way. I've always wanted to, like, ever since I started like getting into cars when I was younger. I think I started getting into cars when I was like probably like in middle school. But the one que me agarró la atención was the SRT8, you know, the Charger SRT8.
The original Hellcat.
Yeah, the original Hellcat, you know. And I'm like, you know what? One of these days, yo voy a agarrar un carro así, you know. At first, I wanted a Mustang, a 5.0 liter, the V8 one. I was like in between the Mustang or the fucking the SRT8. Pero obviously the SRT8 won. So, anyways, let me go back into the story. Y luego aparte, bro, like this is a thing that kind of like fuck, why did I do this? Like I shouldn't have done that. Like while I was over there, yo me tomaba like a couple days off so I can come visit my family and the girl that I was in a relationship with. Pero mi tiempo que lo pasaba más era with the girl that I was in a relationship with. You know? Instead of being with my family, yo me iba con la morra, you know?
Te sacaba leche.
Yeah, dude, it's because, bro, like I had nobody to smash with over there, you know? Like la muchacha pues no estaba tan atractiva. And then there was another girl, ya estaba más grande. She was like probably like 27, 28.
Oh, you smelling his fish all day?
Pero she was like more like como like a tomboy.
Okay.
I don't know if she was lesbian, pero sí era como like sí se vestía como hombre, and that kind of was like a red flag for me. Pero era buena gente ella también, you know. I got along with her, like yeah, like everything was cool, pero así como smash wise, nah. I remember one time, dude, que I vine aquí to visit 4th of July. 4th of July. This was in 2019. Vine y literal 4th of July, you know that's family time, right?
Yeah. For
Bro,
sure.
no, 4th of July was me and her at a hotel all day. That was my 4th of July. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
Rosales way or what?
dude, and I told her, I'm like,
Use Vaseline or what?
I was like, dude, like,
Lube or no?
let's just say que I try to convince her to go out with my family. Pero, bro, ella tampoco was like a fan of being around my family. Not because she didn't like them or nothing, nomás que like se sentía awkward, you know. Pero I get it, but at the same time, dude, we're only going for like, if we would go, we would only go for like 2 hours max, you know, at least to show my family that like I'm there for them, you know. Pero ni madres way, she still convinced me to fucking just stay with her.
I'm just saying, like, for the audience that's not Hispanic or doesn't come of Hispanic descent, family is one of the biggest things for us. So for her not to be cool with the family, like the family always comes with el pito. She wants a pito, she gets the family. She gets the family, she gets the pito. If you date a Hispanic man, you always get the family. So it goes one in one, hand in hand.
Yeah.
So
exactly, you know. So for those, you know, want to get in a relationship with, you know, a Mexican boy or a Mexican girl, just know that family for them is always going to be important. Well, not for everybody, right? Pero pues for most, you know. So just keep that in mind.
For traditional.
Yes. Anyway, so back to the story, and so I ended up going back, bro. Like, cause I only had like the weekend off. So I ended up going back on Monday morning, and then I started working again on Tuesday. And bro, como empezaron a entrar más gente, bro. Y ahí en la compañía de where I was working at, bro, like había gente de todos lados, bro. There was people from freaking the Philippines. There was people from there was 2 Argentinos working there. There was people from Hawaii. A mí me tocó trabajar con los Filipinos, bro. I'm not gonna lie, los Filipinos, bro, they're hard workers, pero también son necios, güey.
I'll be honest, I just turned into a no sabo. What's necio?
Necio is like hard-headed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cuando a mí me tocaba trabajar con los Filipinos, each of us had to take like a lunch break at a certain time, you know? And so me, instead of taking a lunch break at a certain time, I would ask the Filipinos like, oh, do you want to go? And sometimes they would say yes, sometimes they would say no. And whenever they would say yes, pues, I'll take their spot, you know?
Yeah.
And whenever they didn't want to, pues then I would go to lunch, you know? So I did that with the first 2 Filipinos that I was working with, and they were cool with it, you know? Pero luego entró otro Filipino, y ese güey era corajudo, bro. You know what corajudo is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like fucking like
se al palo, bro.
Se emputaba, bro, for like the littlest things. So
se agüitaba nomás.
Yeah. Una vez le hice esa pregunta a ese güey, and he's all like, no, you're not my boss. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just asking you a simple question, if you want to go to lunch right now or no. He's like, no, you go. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Y pues ya, otra cosa es también, like, we have to stay at our end of the shift until the people from the morning would come. Haz de cuenta que you couldn't leave your position until the other guys come and took your position, you know? Y güey se iba, bro. Güey, like, se iba. As soon as he saw the workers come in, se iba. And I told him, I'm like, hey, you can't be doing that porque, you know, it's fucked up if you leave the work. He se emputó, bro. Like, I literally wanted to fucking punch him right in the fucking face. But I know, like, so that would have looked bad on me.
You were just there taking care of the other people, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't want them to come into a fucked up shift.
And then the worst part, that's not the worst part, bro. Porque pues ya habían pasado ciertas cosas, you know, my cousin ended up leaving. I tried to switch over to the morning shift because of my uncles, they worked in the morning. Y pues ellos todavía estaban ahí. Yeah. Because I was basically all by myself, like, like en la noche, you know, porque my cousin had left. I tried to switch over to morning shift, they couldn't. Y pues ya con los Filipinos entrando, pues se hicieron, like, it made, like, ese way, like, made the other 2 Filipinos fucking go against me. Everything was going downhill, bro. Y luego the parte that made just everything go to shit was I found out that
homie was racist.
No, it's worse. I found out that the girl I was in a relationship with, she was cheating on me.
Oh, dude, I thought it was gonna take a way worse track, bro. I was like, was
But
he
that's
messing
still
with a
pretty
Filipino?
bad. But that's still pretty bad. I mean,
That's pretty bad, yeah.
y luego, aparte, like, it's weird porque una vez, like, dude, it's because I would call her, like, on my breaks, I would call her on my lunch, y ella contestaba, and we would just talk for a bit just to see how everything was y todo. And dude, one time le llamé y no me contestó. She didn't answer my text messages. I kind of got worried. I'm like, fuck, like, is everything okay? And then I realized that I had her little sister's phone number. Obviously, her little sister lived with her, so I called the little sister. I'm like, hey, like, ahí está tu hermana, es que no me contesta. And she's like, oh, sí, aquí está en la casa. And then she was like, ¿quieres que te la paso? And I'm like, yeah, pásamela. And so, dude, she went to go give the phone to her sister, which was my girlfriend at that time. Next thing you know, bro, the call fucking ended. I tried calling back, ni madres. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm done hitting her up. Like, if she's gonna talk to me, she's gonna talk to me. And then the next day, I found out that, you know, she cheated on me. And I didn't find out through her. I found out through my cousin, through another cousin that that was living here at the time when I was over there.
How the other primo find out?
Because he has her on her Snapchat story. Y ella subió because she had like kind of like blocked me at that time, or like prevented me from seeing her stories. Ese güey todo lo tenía a ella, and she saw her story, and that's where she sent me that. And then I found that out, and I was like, no mames. Downhill, you know.
Man, don't leave out the details, bro. The people want to know. Was she like dancing with another fool?
No, like basically like they I guess went out to eat, and she posted him.
No mames.
Así nomás, güey. And I told her, bro, I'm like, dude, like, si me hubieras dicho, like, I would have understood, you know? Pero así que you just ghost me and then me sales con esta mamada, like, I should have just known things wasn't gonna work out with that girl. Porque ya the relationship was already hella toxic, you know?
That's how the puto arc always starts, bro. That's how every man turns into a puto after that, man.
Yeah, because of you toxic ass women, fucking, that's why fucking men turn into the men who they are, you know?
And then thanks to this, hey, thanks to that ruca right there, we're on the Toxic Podcast right now. Thank you.
Anyways, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, if I was still with her, bro, like, ahorita anduviera valiendo madre somewhere else.
Fuck.
Anyways, here's another thing too. I'm like, you know what? If she can start talking to another guy, así, I can start talking to another girl, así. And that's exactly what I did. So, check this out, right? While I was working there at the Newport, dude, honestly, like, I was just going through my Snap to see what, like, girls tenía. And, dude, I came across this güerita, mexicana, pero light-skinned girl, you know? I started hitting her up. We started talking. Hablábamos, pues, así, like, normal, bien y todo. Porque ella, like, subía sus stories, and I would slide up on her, and I'd be like, damn, girl, like, you know, you're cute, you know? Like, estás bonita. And then she'd be like, oh, like, like, bro, we'd be flirting. Me quedé hablando con ella un buen rato.
Le comiste la nalga.
No, not yet, pero como te digo, bro, damn, this story's hella long, but I don't care, bro. People need to know, like, what the fuck goes on with my life if they're interested. Anyways, going back to the story, so I started talking to this girl. We hit it off quick, pero como te digo, bro, things weren't the same at work. Todo was shit. And so I'm like, you know what? I think I've lasted a long time here already. So I only stayed there for like 3 months, bro. I was supposed to stay another 3 months, but because shit was just going so downhill for me allá, like, I ended up just staying for 3 months. Y pues ya, like, I ended up coming back to Medford in August, a couple weeks after, like, my birthday. And so I told that girl, I'm like, hey, like, guess what? Like, I'm gonna be in Medford, you know? She's like, oh, really? Like, we should hang out, que sabe que tanto. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, you know? Like, why not? We hung out. We went to the movies, which was, you know, a lot of people say, like, going to the movies as a first date is probably not like the best thing. But, dude, I was 19 at the time, y pues yo no sabía eso, you know? We went to the movies. We saw a movie. It was a good movie. Like, yeah, after, pues, fuimos al parque that's across the street from the movie theater here in Medford. And ahí, pues, empezamos a platicar más. We got to know each other a little bit better. Like, su vibra, like, sí me gustó. Dude, like, we even, like, sat under a tree. and we sat under a tree. We sat under a tree, and ella se sintió arriba de mí.
They started making mofongo. That's what's up.
Yeah, and like I was like just like abrazándola, dude. Like I felt so good, bro. Like it felt good, bro.
The comeback story.
Pero there's a sad story to that, part. So this girl was like, her parents were like really Christian, like super Christian.
Oy.
Yeah. And pues I was like, that's not gonna be a problem for me, I mean, my dad's Christian, he goes to church. I know a little bit about church, like I'm not much, like I don't go as much. Pero dude, like once I met her parents, bro, like I think like I gave an off vibe to them or something, and I guess because of her parents, like I couldn't take anything serious with her.
Damn.
It sucked, bro. It sucked. Pero pues, at least I tried, and like ni modo, no se pudo hacer, pues no se pudo hacer, Oh, and check this out too. There's something I'm also gonna say that has to do with the story. But my ex, the one that cheated on me, found out that I was back in Medford, Oregon, and guess what this freaking girl does?
What?
She hits me up and she's all like, "Oh, ¿quieres salir?" Y yo de pendejo, I was like, "Sure." Le dije que sí. And guess what?
What's up?
We ended up smashing that night that we went out. Y ella ya estaba con el otro güey. She ended up fucking cheating on her new boyfriend with me.
Híjole.
And she knew I was talking to a girl también, which was the girl I tried to get in a relationship with, pero no se pudo. It was more worse on her porque ella ya estaba in a new relationship, and me, like, it was just like to see where it went. Apparently it went nowhere, pero I was good, If anything, she felt hella bad. And I told her, I'm like, porque she felt bad after we got done smashing. And I'm like, look, lo que acabas de hacer, what you just did, wasn't bad. It still shows that you still, it still shows that you have feelings for me, Pero it was not the right thing to do. Porque you already have a boyfriend and you fucking cheated on him with me. And I'm pretty sure to this day that fool doesn't know.
Wait, hold on, fool. So you just gave her the penne and then lectured her?
Pretty much.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Alright, that's some G shit right there, fool.
Yeah. You need another one or what, fool?
I guess so, huh?
I'm barely halfway with mine.
I'm a drunk.
Anyways, guys, after that, había dicho in the beginning, I was going to save that money for my parents and for her. Mostly her, though. Pero como valió madres ahí, that's when I ended up getting the SRT8. Okay, I'm now going to the story of me getting the SRT8. So I got my SRT8 back in 2019 in September, I think. Yeah, in September. And I got it in Portland porque, dude, I tried to find so many SRT8s here in Medford. No había ni madres, way. The closest one I could find was in Portland. They wanted 15 G's for it. Well, 15 grand, And so, yeah.
That's not bad at all, man.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, porque aparte, like, ya tenía los mods, had a clean title. It only had like 9,800 miles. So
that bitch was loud as fuck.
Yeah, dude. So fucking, I'm like, I fucking hit the jackpot. And so I told my dad, I'm like, hey, pa, ¿crees que podemos agarrar este carro para mí? And he said, yeah. I honestly wanted to buy all of it, but my dad was like, you know what? Just pay half of it, and then the other half I'll get from the bank, and then you just pay that off.
That way it builds your what is it? Your credit.
Yeah. So I'm like, I mean, okay, I guess, So that's exactly what we did. And so we went to Portland. We took a trip to Portland. Portland's it's like about 4 hours from here, from Medford, Oregon. So we went to Portland, and dude, I fell in love as soon as I fucking saw it, bro. Now, the thing is, we told the guy that we weren't from here, from the area. We told him that we drove 4 hours just to come look at this car and, see. So what we did is we offered the guy 12 grand. So we got it for $3,000 less.
Damn, perro.
Yeah, so I'm telling you guys, it's always good to negotiate, especially like if you're good at it. Like, it doesn't hurt to try, who knows, maybe you'll be lucky. And luckily we were lucky to fucking at least get it $3,000 down.
Make sure you always have one car, homie, that can be like, oh man, the air filter's dirty, the paint's got swirls, there's defects, the trim ain't right.
Yeah.
Whatever you can find to knock the dealer off on, do it. If you can find anything that's imperfected on that car, do it, because that's a talking point for you to be able to get a cheaper deal on it. Exactly. And always blue book the price on that car, just to make sure you don't get screwed over, bro. Because you're already paying like $5,000 above what they probably already traded in, or $10,000 above what they already traded in. Like, make sure you get the best deal you can, because at the end of the day, that interest is a killer. Even fight them at the interest. Try to get whatever you can. Squeeze the most out of it. If you got to spend 5 hours making a deal, you're getting the most out of what you can get.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you got palomitas. If you got kids, make sure they got a tablet, whatever, man. But make sure you milk the most out of your deal, bro. Yep. Make sure they got to work for your money.
And that's what
go towards the end of the month. Make sure you go towards the end of the month, because they have to be able to make their quota.
Yeah. Yes, especially like, with buying a new car or whatever. But, like I said, in general, negotiating never hurts. I recommend you guys give it a try. Like, look at details, pay attention to the details that, it's going to like support your negotiation. And yeah, así de fácil, bro. Anyways, so I ended up getting the SRT8, bro. Like, I felt like I was on top of the world with that fucking car. I'm not gonna lie, that car.
What year was it?
It was 2006. So it was like the early models, of the SRT8.
What color?
It was black, bro. It was like black with the fucking the crystals,
Oh, with
the
the pearl coating.
Yeah, that one. And yeah, dude, como te digo, I took that car everywhere. That was my daily driver. I feel like I was on top of the world with that car. And that was when the car meets were popping here in Medford, Oregon, That was when fucking street runners was a thing. Los compas de los burners was a thing. Like, everybody had like their little car club, and we would all link up. We would do car meets. We would fucking, block intersections, do some donuts, street racing, like all that illegal shit, Pero sadly, it did.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Pero sadly, like, it did end up dying down. Porque, dude, cops here, like, they were on our asses about that, Like, if you have a sports car, like, it's most likely for you to get attention than a cop, like, así. Which is not bad, as long as you're not doing anything wrong. Pero que that fool's going to look at you, that fool's going to, like, keep an eye on you or something like that, Because cops know that, we have a sports car. They know that we like to fucking rev our engine, fucking pisarle tantito, whatever, But yeah, dude, that was the shit back in 2019, like the car meets y todo. It was fun, I was able to be a part of the OG Burners.
The founders?
Yeah, the founders of Burners.
Yeah.
Entonces, it was cool, it was fun. All the homies were chill. All the homies had, their fucking dope ass cars. Honestly, it was a fun time. Pero como te digo, bro, like, it just ended up dying down because of the heat de los cops,
Dude, I think it'd be a good idea to have them on the post.
Right?
Like some of the old guys that were in the Burners.
Yeah.
That way you could talk to them about, more car stuff and stuff. Because I think, bringing it back to 2018, some of them were definitely big into the car scene around here.
Oh yeah,
I know people think in Oregon we don't have really a lot of things going on, but
you'd be surprised, bro.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. At one point it was really popping out here for a car scene for a little while.
Yeah, and como te digo, it was fun. Like, it was like todo era un desmadre, but it was like fun, like the adrenaline is what fucking got to you, and then you would see people like that you haven't seen in years, bro. Like, fucking people you went to fucking middle school, fucking elementary school with, high school. Like, damn, you rocked that? Damn. Especially me, because I had an SRT8, Not que it was like la gran cosa, pero dude, to me it was, bro. Because, like, no one else really, because SRT8s, like, were rare here in Medford, Oregon, Casi nadie tenía uno, And if it was somebody who did have one, it would be like an older guy,
Oh yeah, old guys love the SRT8s, bro. Like I said, that was the original Hellcat. Before there was a Hellcat, there was a SRT8. The street racing, street racing technology. And you want to know something crazy?
What's up?
So you know why it's called the SRT8? So it's street racing technology. You know why it's the 8? Guess why?
8, because 8 cylinders.
Exactly. You know why they made the SRT6?
6 cylinders.
6 cylinders. SRT4.
Pero, dude, like, those are even more rare.
The SRT6?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, they're pretty rare. I mean, they come in, I forgot what model, but they come in a specific year, and it kind of was just for a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember the SRT8 was in the Magnums for a little while, and then the SRT4 was in the Dodge. Was it the Dodge Neons?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Now that I think about it, most of the homies that I kicked it with back in the day, like, dude, they all had like their fucking whips. You know, like I had the SRT8. Un compa tenía un Chrysler 300. Un compa tenía el Dodge Magnum. Otro compa tenía another Charger, but it was just an RT, but it was still, you know, it was still pretty quick, you know, like for just being an RT. And you know, like we all had like our fucking whips, bro. Like it was crazy, bro. Like if we were in a fucking Fast and the Furious movie or some shit like that, you know.
The Chrysler Club.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, it was fun, you know. Y pues, you know, obviously, like I had so many memories in, you know, that Charger. Un chingo de morras que I ended up smashing in there.
Fuck,
it's because, bro, like I had tinted ass windows, so you couldn't see out that bitch.
Shit, Michoacán, bro.
Exactly, bro. Like it's always las morras from Michoacán, dude.
But they're more like Michoacán, you know, like the ritmo.
Oh, this fool.
Fuck, I didn't know you were banging on. All right. I see you.
Yeah. Arriba tierra caliente. I was all like, yeah, arriba tierra caliente, but fuck, I'll make sure you're even more caliente. That was bad, I'm sorry. Anyways, bro, I wish like I fucking still had the SRT8. I do plan to get one here in the further future, but once I'm like more financially stable, you know, because right now I'm just getting started, you know. Even though, yes, I'm still young, but I still have like a whole way to go, you know. Never stop grinding, you know, keep it going. Make sure you get to like, even if you are where you're at, make sure you get like more of what you want, you know. Because as you thrive more, fuck, you're going to realize that there's more things in what you have than what you can get, you know. So that's, you know, my consejos to the fucking audience that's watching. Shout out if you guys are still here. You know, we've been talking here almost over an hour, which is not bad, you know, like over an hour, I feel like it's a good time. Wait. So I have a question. So did you trade in your Camaro for this? I
did.
Oh, okay. So no more Camaro.
No more Camaro.
And Camaro was like your first ever car, huh?
Bro. Dude, I wanted to cry when I was signing away the paperwork.
Fuck, dude.
That car, it was the most reliable thing I've ever owned, bro. I had that car since 2014.
Yeah, dude, you had it for like the longest time. I remember, yeah.
You know, want to know the crazy thing about that car?
What?
I still had the original battery up until 2023.
Fuck. Damn, that's good, no? Because batteries are usually replaced every what?
2 or 3
years? Yeah.
So that I got the most out of that car, man.
Yeah.
It was low maintenance. The insurance was almost like $80-$70 a month.
Yeah, damn. Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, it was awesome, man. It was a peppy little thing. The motor was putting out 325 horsepower, which from coming out of a V6, that's more horsepower than all the 90s V8s, bro.
Yeah,
like, a lot of them didn't make that much horsepower.
Yeah, dude, porque yo me recuerdo que yo tenía un Lincoln. I used to have a Lincoln LS, one of those classical V8 cars, which I ended up selling to my cousin, you know. I'm pretty sure he still has it. Pero yeah, dude, the reason I ended up getting that car is because I wanted a V8, and that car was like hella cheap. I got it for like $4,000. Like, well, fuck it, you know, like I'll get this one and I'll do like a couple mods to it, you know. So I ended up getting like I didn't get an exhaust, but I did straight pipe it. And then I put como like los tubos, like those big ass tubos that stick out like from the exhaust. I made it sound like if it was an actual V8, you know, because así nomás it sounded like a regular ass car, you know. But bro, like I should have done my research, porque these cars were fucking problematic, bro.
That's the thing is, man. Like, for example, like the Chrysler 300, like not the Chrysler 300. I mean, in general, right? When it came to like the Chrysler family,
yeah.
In regards to like these vehicle years, Dodge has a problem with the door panels. Like they'll shrink and they'll pry and they'll peel.
Yeah.
So for anyone thinking about getting into a Charger, a Chrysler 300,
make sure you do your research. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you do your research. Make sure you get your stuff tinted, because if you don't get your stuff tinted, the panel starts shrinking, it starts peeling. You know, you might have a car that looks up to the 10s, but no one wants their panels peeling, bro. I'm having that issue right now, bro. Damn. Like the car looks nice, it's great.
It's great, dude. Fuck.
But because the previous owner didn't tint it, bro.
Yeah.
Gringo.
Green.
That's the name of the paint, bro. Gringo.
Really?
Gringo.
What the fuck?
You say it fast enough.
Well, yeah.
But the actual name is Gringo.
Exactly.
Say it with a Spanish accent. Gringo.
Gringo. Gringo, for those of you that don't know, means white in Spanish. Caucasian white, yeah. Anyways, and como te digo, dude, you're saying that your Camaro had like more than 300 horsepower, bro. The Lincoln that I had was an actual V8 and it only had like 270.
See, that's a normal thing. It's because CAF regulations, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of these, like, unfortunately, in the I think it was like after the 1980s, 1990s, they started really regulating the emissions on these vehicles, and that's why you had V8s making less than 200 horsepower. Unfortunately, some of your favorite V8s, they didn't make more than 200 horsepower.
Nope.
You know, you had like exceptions like the Chevy Camaro Copo, which was the 1967, 1968, bro. That thing was putting out almost 500 horsepower.
Fuck.
That thing was old as hell. It's the first gen Camaro, but it was badass.
Oh yeah. I think the classical cars, you know, like if it's in a good ass condition, bro, you can never go wrong with a classical car.
Yo.
Yeah. And pues, yeah, pero yeah, dude, that's crazy that your first Camaro, like, was your first car and it lasted you until, like, a couple months, no? Because when did you get this?
Dude, I got this.
Or recently, huh? You got this?
I got this like a month and a half ago.
Okay. Damn, dude, pues, fuck. Like, you know, like, I mean, it's a good-ass trade, bro. Like,
it is, bro.
For sure, yeah.
If I could have, I would have kept both, but with the baby on the way, man, it's... You know, it's hard to, you know, put a car seat in and out. I mean, I was trying to convince my old lady, hey, let me keep it. She's like, oh, you crazy. There's no way. And I was like, all right.
Nah, yeah. I mean, I think, like, as your friend, I think you made, like, a good-ass decision. Oh, crap. My dog's out.
Oh,
no.
We have a special guest.
No, don't do that to me.
Oh, a special guest.
Nah, he's just getting to know you. Show him to the camera. Watch out, because ese way likes to lick.
I know. Look at him. He's all chill, bro. This is the first time he's met me, and he's hella chill.
First time on his podcast, too.
First time on the podcast. Look at him.
Yeah, this fool, este way, he's a lover, bro.
What's his name?
He's a Jorkie, but we call him Georgie.
Oh, Georgie.
Shout out to my dog, Georgie.
He just wants to stay up here, man.
Yeah, just let him lick you. Pause. Let him sniff you.
Ay, cabrón.
Yeah.
All right.
My first car was a Ford Mustang. It was a V6. It was a 98. So, you know, it wasn't like así como la gran cosa, pero dude, it was like a good deal on like a first car, you know. We only got it for like, well, and that time I was working como in the Hemfields. And dude, in the Hemfields at that time, because I was like about 16 when I got my car, and I worked in the Hemfields, bro. They were paying $15 an hour in cash, and $15 an hour back in the day was fucking like $25 an hour nowadays, you know.
Neto.
I worked like all summer in the Hemfields to get a car, and I got that one for like 2,000. She wanted 2,800, but dude, again, negotiating is good, bro, because I ended up getting it for 2,300. So $5,000 cheaper, bro. So I'm telling you guys, if you guys can negotiate, fucking do it, you know. Anyways, yeah, and como te digo, bro, like that car lasted me until like I was probably like 18. Yeah, 18 is when it only lasted me 2 years, bro. Pero and that Mustang, bro, like I've gotten in so many car accidents with it, pero dude, like the last one that I had with it, like completely totaled it. So, you know, luckily they ended up fucking paying for the car. The insurance ended up paying for the car, and they only gave him like $2,000. And then with the other $2,000, that's when I got the Lincoln LS. But yeah, I mean, my first car, for those of you that don't know, was a Ford Mustang, and
what year?
It was a 98.
98.
Yeah, it was a good car, you know, for like at least like my first car. So, I mean,
4-banger?
Nah, bro, it was a V6.
V6?
Yeah, pero I mean, it got me to school, to work, you know, like it got me everywhere, you know. So,
manual or auto?
It was automatic. Yeah, but yeah, dude, it was a good first car, so I was happy with it.
Neta.
Hey, be nice. Be nice.
He's like, let me back on the show, man. Where's my chela?
Right here, you have some. Yeah, right. Don't give your dogs alcohol. All right, dude. Well, that's a wrap for today's podcast, dude. Again, congratulations on your new whip, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
It's really nice, bro. Like, honestly, like, como te digo, bro. Like, I do plan on getting another SRT8 here in the further future. But once, like, I'm more settled down y todo, you know? Because right now, dude, I'm just getting started, bro. So, yeah. Thank you guys, for those of you who stayed all the way towards the end. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate those who stay towards the end. Remember to like, subscribe, share with your family. Let's try to get to 100 subscribers by the ending of this year. We're almost there. We're like at 50, so we're halfway there. So please, share this video, share it. If you're a car guy, like, share it to your car friends, all that, Anyway, so that's
Leave
it.
In the comments, what breed you think this dog is?
Well, I said it already. He's a Yorkie.
Nah, it's got to be something else.
Este way. Anyways, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time on the Toxic Fernie podcast. Later.